morning to you, and welcome aboard. It is ITJ Taurai Jack, and I'm your host, and we talk about anything and everything around property here at M5 Property Addicts. Today, I want us to talk about something that's very important, something that is very important. A lot of my students have been coming through to me, especially in the remote areas. When I say in the remote areas, I mean like out of town, in metros, smaller metros, you know, that kind of thing. They've been coming through to me quite a lot via online and saying to me, Tujay, how do we identify that the land that I am buying is actually the right land? And I've actually realized that it's not a problem in those small towns anymore. Even in the bigger cities here, we're having that problem. And why are we having that kind of a problem? So it looks like people are actually being scammed. People are being scammed, right? It looks like people are being scammed. So there are scammers out there for property, and particularly land. That's what I'm seeing. So people are being taken advantage on the land. By the way, my name is Taurai Jack, and I am here from M5 Property Addicts, and we talk about property and everything around property. I do this every day in the company M5 Property Addicts. I do business in that company there. We are managing and owning over 200 tenants, and we've got around about 350, just over 350 students. That number can easily increase just now with some more acquisitions that we're doing. So great. That's what we do, and I'm always looking at deals. I'm always closing deals. Behind me sits another bigger team that help us to do what we do. That's it about me in a nutshell. But this show is not about me. The show is about you, to make sure that we are discussing anything and everything around property. On a Tuesday, what do we speak about? We speak about things that make us happy. But because today I'm not happy, I thought let me just talk about something that's been on my heart. I started seeing this trend, I think about a year ago, and I was trying to figure out, but how do people just get scammed like this? How is that possible? And it is possible, and I'm seeing it. But before we go into that, I just want to sensitize you guys that this coming tonight, we are actually hosting our investor session, and our investor session is going to be happening tonight. So if you're one of those people that have got a minimum of 100,000 and you want to invest like with like-minded people like me, then yeah, you can attend the investor session there tonight. It is a Tuesday, by the way, so it is halala happy Tuesday. All right, so it is halala happy Tuesday. So we talk about anything and everything that makes us happy. But let's jump into it, right? So I'm trusting that if you got 100,000, I'm gonna see you tonight. That's the one thing. The second thing that I want to speak to is this scamming business. Let's jump into it. What is it all about? So this is what I'm seeing. And if you have seen it out there, let me know. And in the comments, drop in your comments wherever you are. I don't know where you are, but yeah, I enjoy to hear where you are. That's number one. And then number two, I want to get your feedback around this. If you've ever seen this happening in your area, wherever you are. So indicate the area where you are and indicate to us what you have seen. So what I'm going to tell you here today, or what I'm going to try to solve for, is that number one, I am seeing quite a lot of people who actually don't know where do they verify the land ownership. I am seeing a lot of people that don't know where do they verify the land ownership, or even if someone is, I've seen also this, someone is selling a property and they don't know who the owner is, so they get scammed. Someone else is selling, they say, no, transfer the money to me or give me cash, and then poof, that person is gone. And yeah, I want to stress out the fact that if you are caught in a scenario like this one, you have just gone to war with no tools. You have gone to war with no guns, grenade, and things like that. And that's a sad opportunity. And this is why I am always insisting on the fact that, guys, before you start doing any investment, whatever you want to invest in, whether it is, I don't know, study it a little bit. And if you study it and if you understand it, then you won't be scammed, because there's so many scammers out there. People are not good. People are evil. I'm not going to say that straight out. People are evil. They're there, right? They're there in our communities. We know them. They do these things maliciously, right? So now that we've got that out of the way, we know that there are people like that. How then can we verify this information? Number one, in South Africa, there is a process that you need to follow when you are buying a house or a piece of land, right? There is a process that is defined. The process is that there needs to be a conveyancer in between, someone who is going to, an attorney who's going to make sure that the transaction runs smooth. And these are the people that are also allowed to change the title deed, right? So each property that comes through each piece of land, it's got a deed. It's got a title deed. Like you have an ID, or if you're from another country, maybe you got a passport, right? So we know that number there, right? We know that number there. So there's an identification. Each piece of land has got an identification. Each house has got an identification, and it comes on a paper, black and white, right? Right. If you don't own the house outright, it means that the paper is with the bank, right? Or if you own the house outright or the piece of land, yes, you will have this title deed. Not lots of people who have the title deed, but they are there. There's plenty of them, right? I'm just talking in comparison here, right? Now, if you have that title deed, you need to safeguard it. I've seen lots of people that lose their title deed. I'm buying a property and then they tell us they can't find the title deed. It's like losing your ID. Like, come on, go and get your ID sorted out. You know, it's like what, 50 Rand to get your ID back? You know, I'm just checking. I don't know how much it is. I'm just asking. But this is the point here that I want to stress out, right? Each property comes with a title deed, and that title deed is registered at the deeds office. I'm talking here about the process of buying a property or a house so that you don't get scammed, right? We're talking about being scammed here, right? People selling other people's properties and they just vanish. And you put in your hard cash money and you're buying a small pieces of land for 150,000 or 100,000. And you're like, hey, I scored. And then eventually the owner says, hello, this is my land. I want you to avoid that. So let's talk about that process. We say that there needs to be always an attorney who is exchanging this, right? I'm talking in the metros here, right? The process that is defined. So whenever you are buying, there has to be someone who is in between an attorney. In general, the attorney is appointed by the buyer, but the seller, you pay it. That's my confusion there. But anyways, I generally want to choose my own attorney. You can. That attorney is called a conveyancer. It's the person that makes sure that the transaction runs smooth, right? So when you are now paying, who do you pay? You pay not the owner, you pay to the attorney, and then the attorney holds that money. They've got what is called a trust account, and in that account, that money is held in the. They will ask all of your paperwork, FICA documents, and all of those things. Let's assume you're paying this cash, your 50,000 Rand, and you've paid your 50,000 Rand. And they're going to ask for their fees. So they do have fees, right? A 10 Rand or 20 Rand, whatever the case is going to be. And you can ask for all of these fees upfront. How much is it? So you know, right? And again, they will give you quotation to say, this is what we're going to do for this job. And it's going to cost you X amount of money, the 10 Rand that I'm talking about. Now that you've got the 10 Rand, okay, that's what you're going to be paying over and above the buying price of the 50,000. Now you've got the seller, the person who's selling the property. Also, you are the buyer. The person who is now selling the property comes in to the same attorney. So it's one attorney that you're working with in between. As the buyer, you are paying for the services. The seller appoints. And then they go through to the seller and gets also their FICA documents. They come in, they sign for the transfer. You come in, you sign for the transfer. Boom, it is done. The conveyancer then needs to go and lodge. This is what they call lodge. So they go and lodge this at the title deed office. At that time, the title deed moves from the seller into your name, and that's how you get to own the land. If you're in a municipality area, then you now need to open up your own municipality account like that. That is the process. It's simple like that, right? Now, I want to stress the fact that you might just get scammed because there are some people who are going to act as an estate agent, right? You get these guys who are just, they might come up as polished as possible. I don't know where you find them, guys. I've even seen brochures. I've even seen someone sent me a brochure the other day and says to me, TJ, just double check these guys. I'm like, what am I double checking here? I don't know these guys, right? And they're selling me a property. So I'm like, you do the due diligence. That's what it's called, DD, due diligence. So you check, right? So how do you check, right? And I want to speak to that point as well. There are systems out there, there are reports out there that you can zoom in, and I am not going to spend a whole lot of time speaking about these systems. But the fact is that each municipality, like for instance, I've seen City of Joburg. City of Joburg, now they have an app. In that app, in the website, I think GIS Johannesburg, I think it's called, yeah. Then you go in there, you can literally search an address, and boom, it will tell you the owners. Right, it will tell you the owners, it will tell you how much they sell for, it will tell you the rents, what is zoned for, everything it tells you, right? It's pulling from the mainframe, right? I've also seen Ekurhuleni, they've got something similar, and I'm sure that in other towns they might have it also. So the point here is, if you really want to know who the owner of the property is before you can actually go and check also at the council, so at the municipality, that service is there. Or you can ask a proper estate agent. So let's assume that the estate agent now is the one that is now selling you this property. You can also ask as a seller to say, can I see that the person who's selling this property is the real seller? So what they're going to do is they're going to pull a report. It can be either a WinDeed, a TPN, a Lightstone. There's so many applications out there to validate that the title deed holder of this person is X. And that report is the owner's report. Basically, it will stipulate the property itself, the description of the property. It will also stipulate everyone who has owned this property. And it will also give you some comparables of the similar properties that are selling in there. You can do it yourself for as little as, I don't know, I think like 20 Rand or something like that. 29 Rand, I think TPN right now for the same report, they're doing like a 29 report. So like, this is like so easy. How can you go and spend 50,000 Rand when you can spend 30 Rand, 30 Rand, like 30 Rand, 30 Rand, 30 Rand. For as little as 30 Rand, you will have the information readily on your hands so that you can make the rightful decisions to make these transactions. Don't pay money to anybody, right? So we've spoken about the process. So the process is starting off from a perspective of, if you understand the process, there is to be an attorney in between. Don't buy a property, pay someone else, that person is not an attorney. You're being scammed. It's a sad reality, but this is happening in our communities. And you guys are losing money. And that's not cool. And that's why I'm saying on Happy Tuesday, it makes me sad. So that's number one. Number two, we said that there has to be an attorney. Number three, we're saying that you can verify on your own to see the owner of that. Spend some money in your investigations so that you don't have to lose money. You can tweet that. Spend some money to investigate so that you don't lose money. That's it, right? How can you be putting at stake your 50,000, your 100,000? I've seen guys paying 150,000. There's a guy in Durban, he paid 280 on a piece of land. He paid it for cash. He paid it to a guy who doesn't exist. Like, I don't know. Like, how do you do that? But anyway, my people, for lack of knowledge, they will die. This is it. So because we don't have the right knowledge, we're going to suffer there. That's what it is. You can see this conversation is a heavy conversation, but I'm trying to make it light here so that we can learn. That's number 3, whatever number we are on now, it doesn't matter. But make sure that there's an attorney involved. Make sure that you've got the right report. Make sure that you are dealing with a real estate agent, right? Anyone in South Africa who is dealing with properties, right? They're supposed to be an estate agent. And why I'm saying they're supposed to be is because we have seen people who are not estate agents who are trading as estate agents, right? And those are mostly some of those scammers that we're talking about. So how can we make sure or guard ourselves that we are talking to an estate agent? Are they going to pitch up with a business card and we're going to accept them that this is a real estate agent? Well, that's really up to you. But every estate agent has an estate agent number. They've got a proper company. Out of that proper company, there is a principal behind it. You can ask all of these questions, right? Are you an estate agent number? Are you an estate agent? Are you in 10? Who do you work for? Who's your principal there? You can ask all of these questions if you're not so sure. And if something is fishy, run for the hills. Save your money, right? There are well-known brands of estate agents out there that I can drop names here, but I'm not going to do that. I am anyway. The likes of the Rosons, the likes of the Seif, the likes of the Remax, all of these, they are there, right? So if this is now a no brand name or even a nobody, like how do you then validate that what they're selling is correct? Yeah, this is a tough conversation, but it needs to be held. It's for the sake of your money, right? I'm saving God mine. I am making sure that your money here is safe as well. So there has to be an estate agent. And if it is owner selling, no problem. Give me a copy of the title deed. If it is a seller selling, no problem. Can I pull a report on Windit to show that you are the true owner? If they're really selling and you got the money, can I take you to my attorney? If you go to an attorney right now and if you say to them, I've got a deal that I'm looking at here and I have the cash. Can I give you the cash so that you can secure it from me, but also check on this lady? There is no attorney who's going to say, no, I can't help you. Because that's business for them, right? So always work within the process. The process is there to safeguard your money. That's number one. Number two, it is also there to streamline the process. That's it. I'm hoping that this has been of value. Stop being scammed, please. I'm hoping that this has been of value. But if you're one of those people who are saying, hey, TJ, I actually want to jump into this property thing and I've got my 100,000 minimum, you can invest with me as well. And you can jump in there and let's talk about it. I'm just going to go into the comments and I've got someone else in here throwing in some comments and they're saying to me, TJ, what's happening? Can you talk about deal sourcing? Can I? Yeah. I think I've done that already somewhere on our YouTube. We've got a couple of videos there around sourcing. Okay. And then someone else is saying, I'm a deal sourcer here in Pretoria trying to break through in the game. Okay, dude, drop in your email address. And I've got a course that I've done around sourcing and I will hook you that up. So drop your email address somewhere. I think you're watching me on YouTube. Yeah, so you're on YouTube. Give me your name and your email address there and then put in a comment and I will get that out to you in the next couple of days. And you can be an awesome sourcing agent and you can make some money. But obviously there are rules and regulations around that as well. That's another thing. Okay, good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end for today. But I'm hoping that this has been of good value. Sounds like I was renting quite a lot there, but I don't want you to lose money. I want you to make money. Because if you lose money, then you go out there and start saying that property doesn't make sense and you lose money. I don't want you to lose money. If you don't know the right education, plug into M5 Property Varsity. We've got a school that is there to educate you. Plug into the many videos that we have done on YouTube. Get educated. Read books, right? Read books. When you read books, you get educated. That's all it's all about. And by the way, if you haven't checked out my new book, I've got a book here called From Bed Debt to Property Mogul. You want to get this book. Yeah. That's it from me for today. We'll catch you out again tomorrow. But for those that are coming through to the investor session, you can come in through tonight, register, and we'll send you the Zoom link. And yeah, we'll see you tonight. God bless and goodbye. Cheers.